Hey, my name is Ron Riles. I'm the distiller out here at Homestead Hollow. You know, I became involved in distilling back about 2008. The owner of Homestead Hollow and his wife asked me to come out and help a person that was out here doing it. His name was Ivan Beggs. Ivan, it's really interesting. Ivan was a typical moonshiner. When I say typical, I mean he was the stereotype moonshiner that you would think. He was probably about 6'2", 6'3", skinny, probably weighed 130, 140 pounds. When he came out here and he was making moonshine, he would sit right in this area here, and people would come around that wanted to understand about moonshine, how it was made, kind of a little bit of the history about it. They would come out here and they would see the moonshine and the mash and everything, and they would ask questions. Well, Ivan, being your stereotypical moonshine, he didn't like to talk very much. He served 15 years in the state penitentiary for running it and making it, which is a bootlegger and a moonshiner, and he wasn't too much for conversation. As a matter of fact, the first show that I came out here, I came over to Ivan. I said, "Hey, Ivan, my name is Ron. Just want to introduce myself and just let you know that I need to come out here and help you." And he looked at me and said, "I don't need your help. I don't need anything you've got." And I said, well, kind of set me back a little bit. I said, "Well, Ivan, I mean, be that as it may, I need to, come out here and help you and talk to people and everything." He just kind of barely acknowledged me at all. So anyway, I sat down, had a chair and sat down beside him, and every once in a while he'd get up, he would check the still and the mash that was behind, and he'd sit back down. I was like, "Well, what were you doing?" And he wouldn't even answer me. I mean, he didn't even want me out here. So this went on for a couple of shows, and you gotta realize I'm out here from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we would sit there and not even talk. Anyway, so that kind of went on a little bit. He had bad circulation in his legs. And every time we were here, we would have a fire in this fire pit right here. Now, when I say we had a fire, it was a fire that was up to here. It was, it wasn't just some coals or anything burning. It was a pretty raging fire. And he would come over here and he would stand on these rocks right here, get as close as he could to the fire without the fire touching him. And I asked him one time, I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "It's none of your business." I said, "Okay." So I realized that, there was something, he had bad circulation or something. He was heating his legs up and everything. And he was standing here, and I looked down at his shoes, and I was standing there. I ran around here and I grabbed Ivan, and he said, "Boy, I'm gonna knock you out. What are you doing?" I said, "Ivan, look at your shoes. Your shoes are melting." And he looked down at his shoes, and sure enough, they were melting, and he didn't even know it. And he was just like trying to put them out and trying to, everything. And so I stood there for a minute. I guess it was about 5 or 10 minutes later. I said, "Ivan, what kind of shoes, what size shoe do you wear?" And he said, "I don't know. What do you care?" I said, "I'm just asking, Ivan." And he said, "Well, I guess it's about a 10. It's like, okay. So during the show, I guess at lunchtime, I cut out of here and I went down to Walmart and found exactly the kind of shoes that he was wearing. I guess he got them at Walmart. And I bought a size 10 and I brought them back. After lunch, I took the bag and I gave them to Ivan. And he said, "What's this?" I said, "It's for you." And he looked in the bag and he closed the bag. He said, "I ain't got no money." And I said, "Well, I don't want any money." He said, I can't take these." I was like, "Ivan, don't make it more complicated than it is. It's a gift." And he looked in the bag again and he took his shoes off and he put the new ones on. And from that point on, Ivan and I connected. I guess it was just because we broke the ice or what have you, but he started telling me everything that he was doing, and I started gaining more interest in it. And he started telling me old stories about when he was moonshining, when he was actually bootlegging and taking it to places. He told me about his time in prison and how it was hard for him. He still kept doing it when he got out. So Ivan was the one that taught me Ivan, and there's a guy named Preacher Layfield. Those two guys were synonymous in this area of making moonshine and skirting the law, if you will, just to make sure, because the definition of moonshine is a liquor that's been made illegally without paying taxes. By making it, especially here in Alabama, different states have different rules, but when you make it, it's illegal. So anyway, getting back to Ivan, he showed me everything. He showed me, you know, how to mix the mash. He told me about the pot and how to put it in there and how to heat it up and everything. And Ivan was just, he was an unusual guy. He really was. And he just, he passed away not long ago, and he and I would connect at every show like we had seen each other the day before. Ivan and Preacher Layfield, but Ivan specifically was the one that got me interested in this. And so God rest your soul, Ivan.